Okay, I'm just going to talk a little bit about internal and external rotation of the shoulder. A couple of you have mentioned to me about being weak in that area and not having much rotation through your shoulder. So many people can do this okay, forwards okay, but it's the rotation through the shoulder capsule that many of you might struggle with. So a great way of overcoming that is to build some strength, not just go through the motions, but build strength in these end ranges. So we'll talk about external rotation of the shoulder, which is when the shoulder capsule externally rotates away from the body, and then internal rotation when it rotates down towards the floor. So rather than just go through a drill that works the rotational capacity, I like to look at building some strength there, which will give you lasting gains in that rotation of the shoulder. Easiest way I find to do it, to build that strength there, is to go into a double bicep pose where we keep our elbows in line with the shoulder, 90 degrees from the body, 90 degrees through the forearm. So we're in this position. Try not to let the elbows drop as you do the reps or deviate up, and also imagine there's a stake through the body and the elbows can't come forwards or backwards, so they stay completely in line with the body in this position. Also, while I'm here, don't do that with your wrist. A lot of people tend to do that with the wrist to try and force more rotation, but all that's doing is flexing and extending the wrist. It's not providing you with any more crucial rotation in the shoulder. This is where we need to be feeling it. As I've said before, feel it in the shoulder or whatever joint that you're working at the time. That's where you need to be feeling it. So we start off in this double bicep position and get some nice tension through the body. So we tense our abs, tense our chest, tense our biceps, and really squeeze our fists together so there's nice tension through the body. And we're in this double bicep position. Again, not hunched and not dropped too low, just away from the ears in this position. Now from here, I want you to fire back your left arm. So your left arm really squeezes backwards. So from the side, you're doing that with your forearm, which brings this shoulder into external rotation. Now just give that a go and you should straight away find that the rear delts, the scapular area really starts to fire up as you force that back as much as you can. That's your current end range. Really tense that, and this will help start to build some strength there. So you're really squeezing isometrically through that shoulder as you try and rotate backwards. Now while that stays squeezing backwards, we can do some reps with the other arm. So the other arm comes down into internal rotation as maximum as we can go, and then back up. And then we squeeze backwards. So now we're trying to force both arms backwards into external rotation. As this arm comes back down, this arm stays firing back, so we're not letting this go loose. It stays firing backwards, keeps that delt and that scapular area really firing and lit up. No time does that tension ever go away. As we go through rotation of the opposite arm. So we'll come to maximum external on both arms, keeping that maximum external of the left arm, and come into maximum internal of the right arm. I like to let, as I say, that happen. Try and keep everything locked, as though you've got a stake running through the body, and it's keeping that elbow in that one position as you rotate the shoulder into your maximum end range. Again, try and not compensate anywhere in the body, so as you're forcing back, try not to let the body go with you, just let the shoulders do the rotation. Okay, so this is going to start building some end range in internal and external rotation. Once that becomes too easy and you're really forcing some new range of motion through the shoulders, we can start adding weight. So weighted mobility is an excellent way of really gaining more strength in these end ranges. So again, we'll fire back, start light to begin with, fire back with the left arm, right arm comes down, really nice and slow and controlled. Don't rush any of these movements. You should be able to control every little aspect of it, so you can really slow it down. At no point should you be dropping. If you are dropping, the weight's too heavy. You don't want that. Really nice and light. You progressively build up. As with anything, we need to progressively overload to stave off injuries. And then we switch, so we're forcing now our right arm backwards into external rotation and keep it locked as far back as we can go. And as we're doing that, the other arm is rotating through its two end ranges. Good to do this in a mirror, because then you can see if you're coming less than 90, more than 90, or if you're hiking up. So do it in a mirror. You can see exactly what you're doing. So by the end of that, you should be quite out of breath, quite tired. As I say, it will really start to squeeze those shoulder blades in that external packed range of motion. At no time should it be easy, any of that. You can do single arms as well, so maximum end range, both sides, internal and external. Just focusing on the shoulder capsule rotating. That will then start to help with the exercise I showed yesterday with the dislocates, where you're going through internal rotation of the shoulder. And as we come back, externally rotating as we come back over. So don't just use the shoulders in one plane of motion, use them as they're designed to be used in flexion, extension where the arms come behind, and then obviously your rotation internally and externally. I have posted previously about doing hovers, which I'll briefly go over. I'll do this kneeling so you can see. Very easy exercise, or very easy exercise to do in terms of the equipment that's necessary, but a difficult exercise if you're not used to rotating the shoulders through their full range of motion. So all it is hands on top of each other behind the back. First thing we do, so with your hands on the small of your back, first thing we do is squeeze our shoulder blades together by trying to bring our elbows together. So we're in this position, shoulders down away from the ears, and from here lift the hands, keeping the shoulder blades pinched together, and then from there extend the arms backwards, reach back as much as you can, keeping the shoulder blades squeezed together. Now we rotate the shoulder and we lift and reach overhead, and then we come back by reaching backwards, internally rotating the shoulder, arms come back to hovering just above the back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then dropping back to the small of the back. If you find that too easy, you can come up higher. If it's difficult, you can stay quite low in the back. So the full exercise is a squeeze, a lift of the hands, reach back, rotate, reach up, and really force the arms backwards before we internally rotate. Arms come behind, still squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then drop to the small of the back and relax. Again, 8 to 10 reps of those. You can do them stood up. I like to do them in the hinge position. So we're in this position, we do them from here. Or you can do them laying face down, being mindful that your ribs aren't forcing into the floor too much. So keep the ribs back and down, nice strong glutes, and do it face down on the floor. So give those 2 exercises a go. Working full rotation through the shoulder and some external and internal end range strengthening.